They say that when a person gets pushed a little bit, they show their true colours, which seems to have happened within the political world in Belgium. We're going to Belgium now.
Oh,
The former acting mayor of the Molenbeek district in Brussels has been in hot water since her outburst.
hmm?
There was an outburst.
Cool, dear. Be careful your outbursts.
Right. Saliha Rais, city council member for the Social Democrat Vuruit party,
Yeah.
told Belgians if they didn't like her Muslim headscarf, they should leave the country. She said, if people wearing headscarves bother you so much, if you don't want to see us anymore, move. Go somewhere else. Get out. She said, quote. Yeah. Even Elon Musk got in on the remark by saying Belgians must leave Belgium. This is insane.
Yeah.
The left-wing media in Belgium, of course, came to Rais's assistance, claiming the quote was taken out of context. RTL claimed that the quote was taken out of a larger debate in Facebook, or on Facebook, I suppose.
Okay.
Radio Genoa, on the other hand, said Saliha Rais, a politician from Molenbeek, wants a Europe without Europeans, quoting Rais as saying, anyone who doesn't accept veiled women, anyone who doesn't accept Islam in Belgium can leave. This is Islam, they
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
The Vurit party leader, Koma Rousseau, said in defense of Rais that she was speaking in frustration as she has to deal with racist remarks due to being a Muslim. So, note to Mr. Rousseau, Muslim is not a race,
Hmm.
it's a religion.
Yes.
Now, of course, we can't accept that Saliha Rais speaks on behalf of every Muslim in Belgium. But the fact that she is in an elected office suggests she does speak for quite a few.
Yeah.
And if this trend carries on in other parts of Belgium, the EU,
Hmm.
the UK,
Hmm.
who knows how things will turn out? Just saying.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Right. So before I'm going to let you go,
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
do what you like, I am going to say a little thing uh, in defense of her,
Yeah.
right? But also something against. And the in defense of her is yes, okay, she's been at the brunt of being
Mm.
ridiculed for the way she dresses.
Yeah.
But in her defense, in her on the other side of the coin, we do it all the time. I do it to you if you wear something
Yeah.
that I feel outlandish.
Yeah.
You do it to me. I do
Yeah.
it to any.
Yeah.
I I tap you on the shoulder and point people out if I think they're dressed like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we all do it. It's
Yeah.
part of life. And I would say to her, grow up a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, okay. I I consider myself a liberal, but I do honestly believe in freedom of expression. Okay. Now I'm going to be quite hard here on what I'm seeing happening with a lot of Islamic people across Europe. Okay. I'm not condemning Islam. I'm not condemning any followers of Islam, whatever as a Catholic, whatever my opinions about Islam may or may not be. Yeah. I believe in freedom of spirituality, freedom of expression. Yeah. And the two are balanced. Um, okay, she's got a item of clothing she wears which she considers her entitlement to wear. Okay, fair enough.
why
Yeah.
not?
I mean, I would say the for communicational purposes in Europe, the minimum it is that should be exposed is the face. Yeah. Yeah.
The image I've seen of her, she's wearing a thing that looks a little bit like a turban,
Yeah.
a very turban. It's just something perched on top of her head.
Yeah. Well, we live. Yeah. Okay. I tell you here, I live in northeast Brazil. Occasionally, my wife wears what would be described as an African piece of headgear because that's what she identifies with sometimes. As sometimes. Um,
Sometimes.
well, she she's Brazilian. I what mood am I in today? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she has gone out dressing, yeah, in that kind of thing because she has features that do actually appropriate. Yeah, if it doesn't look out of place with her, I must admit it looks quite nice. Um, but it's a personal choice. She doesn't wear it every day. Now, if this woman wants to wear what she wants, she may have had some comments, or it might be misunderstood. Yeah. I mean, if somebody goes up to her and says you shouldn't be wearing that because we don't want everyone to wear it, yeah, okay, she has to understand that not everyone wants to wear it, but that person equally so should be tolerant to what she wants to wear. And I do agree with you there. Yeah. If it's being said aggressively to her, there could be, like you said, a bit of banter. It's like I've worn a T-shirt one day, and Steve might have said to me, "Well, why do you wear that Star Wars T-shirt, or why do you wear this, or why you haven't said it, but yeah, you would do, yeah." Or I don't. He does. Steve doesn't agree with having monocles or
I'll
T-shirts.
probably say something more like Mark. I didn't know that they made Star Wars t-shirts in that adult size.
Yeah, yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, grow up a bit. Yeah, and it's a leg pull. It's a leg pull. To which I would reply, "Well, why should I? You can't tell me to grow up." Yeah. Um,
Just say thank goodness they do.
Yeah. Yeah, um, I mean, yeah, it's banter. It's a bit of fun. Maybe Steve actually believes that they shouldn't sell Star Wars t-shirt in adult sizes, which he's probably got a point. Yeah. Um, yeah, we reach an age of maturity where really we should be acting in a responsible manner. But it's context as well. If I was walking in to get a bank loan or I was walking into a job interview, I
Yeah,
would probably not wear my Star Wars t-shirt. If I'm going to a convention or I'm walking about the street or I'm meeting up with fellow people who like Star Wars, I would probably look a bit strange if I didn't have it, if I wore a suit and tie. Equally so, yeah. But I'm entitled to do that in any context, yeah. Um, and that's all freedom of expression. I tie that, not freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Yeah. I can wear within reason whatever t-shirt I want. I might not say walk around with something like I'm going to say this um, all Catholics should leave Brazil. Yeah, I'm going to say that, and I'm using it as an example because A, I'm a Catholic, and B, Brazil is a big Catholic country, biggest in the world still. Yeah, I wouldn't be saying that. I wouldn't say that about anyone, um, especially if they're Brazilian. I must admit, I've told gringos to leave Brazil when they've been criticising Brazil. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But, well, you can because they aren't Brazilian.
yeah,
When you start telling Brazilians to leave Brazil
yeah.
because they don't like the situation that they find themselves in,
Well,
it's not.
admittedly, I've said that to Brazilians in the UK who complained about the way the British are.
Once
Um,
again, it's
yeah,
because they aren't British.
yeah,
They're there.
yeah,
They're guests. We're all guests.
yeah. I probably said to my wife once, twice when we were there.
I think
She's
I think it's I think it's important to say in this
yeah,
case
yeah.
with this Saliha that she is Belgian.
Well, yeah,
Her
okay,
parents are Moroccan, but
yeah.
she was born in Belgium.
Okay,
So
well, yeah. So she's chosen, and she lives in a free country with free expression, free choice of religion. Where let's just say Belgium is. I don't think it's secular. I think it's more Protestant facing in religion and faith. Yeah. Um, I don't think it's part of Catholic Europe. Um, what do they call it? Lutheran.
yeah.
That's
Well,
it's yeah.
Belgium's a mix of
Yeah,
races. It's
but that's what I'm saying. The bit
French, German.
mix. I mean, we're mix of
Dutch.
spiritual. She's chosen her spiritual path. Hey, be happy. You live in a country where you can do that.
Yeah.
You're accepted. You've got to a high office. Yeah,
Mm.
in a country that can't be totally racist because you've achieved that. You've been elected by people. Okay, we'll look at who's elected an individual and everything else, but living in a country where you've been duly elected. Um, yeah, to turn around and say, if you don't like it, leave Belgium, it's wrong. And is not going to win you many friends,
No, I don't think so.
any more than Steve and myself live in a country that is not of our origin. Neither of us are, strictly speaking, citizens. We're here at the government's sufferance, quite literally sometimes. Yeah. Um, we check ourselves what we say. I mean, we may disagree with certain elements here. When you hear Steve and me speaking, and then you hear Brazilians speaking about our arguments about Brazil, they're exactly the same, but we moderate it. Yeah, we might not agree with certain customs here. Yeah, the annual burning of the Virgin in the centre of Recife, both Steve and myself disagree with. Yeah, I'm joking, by the way, people. It doesn't happen. Yeah, probably a
I don't
joke too far.
I don't think one's been burnt for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. They couldn't find one.
I'm not going to go there because we're talking. Yeah, yeah, that's a joke, people. By the way, and I fair say Brazilians would find that funny. We'll find out the hard way, possibly. Yeah, but yeah, it's acceptance of people. We are. I would say yes. Can I? I'm going to look at the UK because that's what I've had experience with. I've never lived in Belgium. I visited there once. Yeah, I think I fell asleep on a park bench because there was nothing to do. Sorry. Um, but yeah, no, Belgium's a nice country, the architecture and everything. Um, but yeah, when you are getting a mix of people with different opinions, and I was watching a video earlier this morning about it. Somebody's done a video, a guy called, uh, it's called the Y Minutes, and it is the UK headed for civil war is the actual title, but that's
Mm.
it's getting away from what this podcast is about. Um, but I just happened to be watching it halfway through it, and it is talking about this that you can have 1,000 people living in a village. Yeah, so it's relevant. I might put the link to it actually in our description. Yeah, um, you can have 1,000 people in a village. Yeah, who go have more or less have the same customs. Yeah, there might be different opinions about things, but they have more or less the same customs, the same realities. You then introduce 100 people into it from another village somewhere where they've got totally different customs and ideas about everything from beliefs through to how punishment should be administered to how people should dress. Yeah. Um, and they can integration happen is the question. Yeah. And then when the minority, inverted commas, say, well, everyone should adopt my way of doing things because it's better, it may or may not have merit. Yeah. Um, or people may have to get used. So, admittedly, if you've got these 100 people and they have slightly different way of dressing, the residents have to accept it. But when it starts getting forced, well, you need to dress like this or leave. Yes, the 1,000 people will start getting just a little bit tetchy about it. Yeah, because for thousands of years they've worn one sort of thing. Yeah, they've worn Star Wars T-shirts for 1,000 years, and somebody's come along and say, "Well, you've now got to wear Star Trek T-shirts." Yeah, and the Star Wars T-shirt wearers are not going to be very happy about that. Yeah, even if the Star Trek T-shirts were around a lot longer before in different places. Yeah, in a different village. Yeah. Um, it's just not going to wash, and we have to understand this. Um, okay, there is a switch now of yeah, and then the establishment. Well, it comes in little things. Oh, every woman should now wear a headscarf. I insist upon it. Every woman should do this. Every woman should do that. Why should women do anything? Yeah. Yeah. If any women out there can tell me how to get another woman to do anything, can you tell us men, please? Because we struggle with that ourselves. Yeah. Again, I've just used humour. And yeah, even when you then introduce other people with a different sense of humor, like you say, banter. Yeah, while you're wearing that headscarf makes you look like an Indian, or that headscarf makes you look like that. It's an observation. It might not be nasty. Yeah, it may even be a compliment. And I think this is what's happening: is we're not understanding each other's humor. We're not understanding, yeah, okay, aggression sometimes. Um, Sometimes we have different ways of saying things, a different tolerance to way about what can be said. And again, this is creeping into society, that people are taking offense to things that 10 years ago nobody would care. Now, I'm not saying everything that got said 10 years ago is right, but we're entitled to say it. And nobody died. Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens with this one anyway, because it'd be interesting to know, as in the UK, an awful lot more
Mm.
politicians are getting into positions of bit like being MP and councillors and things like that.
Yeah.
This lady was a councillor, by the way,
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
she was an acting mayor when the
Mm.
mayor wasn't there, but
Yeah.
she's a councillor.
Well,
And see if they come out with anything similar. Similar. There's one thing as saying, stop calling me names.
yeah.
I mean, I used to be a Morris dancer, and every time we went out to dance, we were ridiculed. Of course we were.
Well, I'm laughing now thinking about you dressed up as a Morris dancer. Yeah.
Well, there you are.
But
Well,
you're,
I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
yeah.
And eventually, it's like water off a duck's back. I don't know what the lady. I don't know what the lady's really is complaining about, to be quite honest.
Well,
But I don't. I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't like to think that anybody in the House of Commons in the UK would say, "Look, if you don't like what we're doing, what I'm doing here, leave the country."
well, yeah, that does reek of a bit of entitlement. That
Not a lot.
well, you know me, Julie, I underplay it because that's part of my humor, the way I deal with it. Yeah, I'm deliberately belittling the statement. Like you say, try and make it water off a duck's back, but I know the implications of what's being said there, and it is systematic of a slightly more wider spread opinion by a certain demographic who actually feel that way as well about the indigenous population of Europe.